Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. This will be a triple live pertaining to three female victims. The first victim is a Shawtyeria Waits, currently missing out of Houston, Texas, African American female. I got this recommendation from a fan. I had just viewed this content early yesterday morning before a fan left a comment on a community post. So I will be discussing the disappearance of Shawtyeria Waits out of Houston, Texas. I will also be discussing the violent death of a Caucasian woman. I believe she's Caucasian, out of Atlanta, Georgia. She was found dead 2 weeks ago in a park, Piedmont Park, alongside her dog. Very odd and peculiar story. And then my third story will be pertaining to a bartender who was kidnapped near her home and later discarded in a street not too far from the said kidnapping location. And this also derives out of Atlanta, Georgia. The bartender story is the kidnapping story of the bartender, female bartender, is what led to me seeing the story about the lady who was found decedent in a public park, Piedmont Park in Atlanta, Georgia. For those of you who are familiar with the Atlanta, Georgia area, this is a triple live, so please bear with me because there's a lot of content to bring pertaining to each story, because the lady who died in Piedmont Park, viciously murdered alongside her dog, that is a 2-week-old story. So I'm just now being abreast on that said story. As you see, there is a lot of violence in our country. And Atlanta is a city that's a lot of violence, carjackings, theft, burglaries, said sexual crimes, like anywhere in the world. But they have a lot more crime in the general Atlanta metro area. The more people you have, the more crime you're going to have. That's to be expected anywhere you live. So long as it's a big city, more people, that means you have more people that are unwell, unstable, that will commit violent crimes. That's the said information. I want to thank you all for joining me on this very hot day in the high 10. When I say it's smoky down here, baby, it's smoky. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the content. If you need verification for any audio that you hear, I will bring the said source, and you also can log over to YT in the queue and get the said information. Thank you so much for joining me. Father identifies woman killed after being kidnapped in Atlanta, Georgia. The source is 11 Live, uploaded 23 hours ago. Thank you. 1 second. Commercial playing. Sorry about that. Thanks lots. Hi, Tracy. How you doing, honey? Here we go. Can't get this to play for some reason.
And right now, police are questioning a man detained earlier today. Alumni Live's Joe Ripley joining us live now from Borough Street, where police say she was forced into an SUV right outside her home. Joe, you spoke to her father just a short time ago.
I did, and we're giving families some privacy, so we're set off just a bit from their home.
Sorry, the audio's a bit low.
The father, Mary Abdul said his daughter, who's just 27 years old, was the most loving, peaceful person he had met, and this he did not deserve.
It's just wild. It's literally like out of a horror movie. Like, that's everyone's worst nightmare, to be kidnapped. The one place you think you're safe is your home.
It was outside this home on Truro Street in southeast Atlanta where police first got the call about someone witnessing a possible kidnapping around 5 a.m.
We saw the female being forcibly grabbed and placed into a
About an hour later, police responded to a shots fired call around Lakewood Avenue and Terrace Way. Jennifer Camp was a gunfire in her own backyard.
Got ready to do some stuff on my computer. And all of a sudden I heard one pop, and then I heard 3 consecutive pops, and I knew it was fireworks.
Around 10 o'clock, police got another call, this time about a gruesome discovery in the wood line.
Female, mid-20s, deceased on scene. We now believe that that is the same female that was kidnapped.
Family identified her as Marian Abdul-Rahman. She works as a bartender in Atlanta. Police say a person of interest was detained. The family says police told them the man was involved in a police chase and crashed in Griffin, but he has not yet been identified by police. It's deja vu for Miriam's next-door neighbor, Alfonso Lara. He knew the wife of Katie Jonas, the woman killed last month in Piedmont Park, whose case
Hello, everybody in
remains
chat.
unsolved.
All of this has been so overwhelming, these stats. Like, when is it going to stop with your own child? Burying them before they bury you is probably the most heart-wrenching thing that you probably can never come back from, That's going to live with them forever, and it's just so terrible.
As you can imagine, the family's still distraught right now as far as suspect description information. We have yet to hear from police on that, though we understand a person of interest is detained right now. Of course, as we learn more, we will bring that information along to you. In the meantime, police are urging everyone to stay vigilant, especially with the case a couple of weeks ago with Katie Jonas, who found killed there in Piedmont Park.
And there has been no connection between either of those cases. We should point that out to everyone tonight. It's terrible news. 27 years old, children. Thank you. And this is a story that has been developing all day long. You can listen to more information from police during this afternoon press conference. You can find it on our Atlanta Live page.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me.
My daughter's name.
As this reporter has said, there's no connection between the Piedmont death of Miss Jonas 2 weeks ago, who was found dead in the park alongside her dog. There's rumors that there was possibly a serial killer. So let me make that clear. There has been no proven connection between the bartender who was kidnapped and discarded and the murder of the woman in Piedmont Park 2 weeks ago. I do not know the distance between Piedmont Park and the location of where the woman was kidnapped from her home. I do not know. I'm not familiar with the Atlanta demographics, but when I get to that information, I will bring it to you, because I didn't get an exact address of where this lady lived, the bartender. But nonetheless, beautiful looking lady, Miriam, kidnapped. There's video surveillance of the kidnapping. Thank you, Jesus. Somebody had a camera. They had a camera. So we will wait and see what happens. There is a suspect at hand, and I'm going to read you that said information right now, because there's a lot of information in the searches for all these stories. So I'm going to try to be brief, because I'm talking about 3 separate stories this evening. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution, source number 1, besides the source I just brought you from the YT. A living jewel, bartender's kidnapping, death shocks city on edge. In a city still reeling from the gruesome stabbing death of a woman walking her dog in Piedmont Park, Atlanta was once again stung by tragedy Friday morning when a woman was violently kidnapped outside her home and found shot to death hours later. In the midst of an outpouring of grief and remembrance, multiple friends and co-workers confirmed the identity of the woman is Miriam Abdul-Rab, 27, to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, a bartender at the Reverie VR bar in Midtown. Abdul-Rab was returning to her home in Chosewood Park, just south of Grant Park, from work in the early morning hours, friends say, when she was kidnapped outside her house at gunpoint. Her body was found shortly before 10 a.m. near the intersection of Lakewood Avenue and Terrace Way in the Lakewood Heights neighborhood. Abdul-Rab's death is the 15th killing of a woman in Atlanta this year and the 92nd homicide overall. Many instantly connected her slaying with the grisly murder of Katie Jonas in Piedmont Park less than 3 weeks earlier. Jonas, also a bartender, was brutally attacked late at night while walking her dog. Very interesting, because I didn't know Jonas was a bartender. Yeah, this is kind of creepy now. Despite the similarities between the 2 cases, Atlanta police do not believe they are connected. These are 2 separate incidents, Department spokesman Deputy Chief Charles Hampton Jr. said during a news conference Friday afternoon. And inside the said photograph, you will see Miss Miriam. She's behind the bar with a shaker, throwing up 2 fingers, looking happy. But now, sadly, she is no longer alive. This is from the Reverie, the establishment where she was an employee before her death. This is a post on Instagram. And if you need to verify, go to Instagram on Reverie/VR. Our hearts are truly broken at the loss of a dear friend and family member. Miriam brought light to every single person she came in contact with and will forever be missed. We will be closed this weekend to grieve and savor our last moments with her. Please stay safe, y'all. That is from Instagram. Hours after Abdul Rah's body was found, a man considered a person of interest in the case was taken into custody. DeMarcus Brinkley, 27, was flown to a hospital after crashing his 2013 Chevrolet Equinox into a Buick during a pursuit in Griffin, according to the Georgia State Patrol. The Buick's driver was also flown to Atlanta Medical Center. No updates were provided on either of their conditions Friday. Once he is treated, Brinkley will continue to be held on traffic charges, the GSP said. No charges have been filed against Brinkley related to Abdul Rah's kidnapping and death, according to Atlanta police. State Patrol will handle his traffic charges. In interviews with AJC and on social media, those who knew Abdul Rah described her as a warm, kind, and thoughtful. Two of the bars where she worked will shut down for the weekend as her employees try to cope with her death. Miriam was a living jewel, said Grant Henry, owner of Quirky Edgewood Bar Church, where Abdul Rah sometimes worked. We are all family, said Henry, whose bar's full name is Sister Louisa's Church of the Living Room and Ping Pong Emporium. As if the pandemic wasn't enough, to lose a family member is even worse. James McConnell, who worked with Abdul Rah for 3 years at his bar, Mother Bar, plus kitchen, was still processing the horror Friday afternoon. Okay, then there's another Facebook post in here. And you also see other pictures of her. A very nice looking young lady. From appearance, I would think maybe she was Korean. I'm not sure. But she was a very nice looking young lady, very fit looking. And sadly, she is no longer alive. And there's posts basically saying she was taken between 4:30 and 5 a.m. from her home in Grant Park. We now have her surveillance by the grace of God. Amen. It further reads, she was one of the sweetest people I've ever met, kind to everyone. And that says a lot because in the service industry, everybody has a general wall up because you deal with a lot of disrespect, McConnell said. Everybody loved her. McConnell said he and Abdul Rah often passed time chatting at the Edgewood Bar before it closed down in 2020. Even after that, Abdul Rah kept in touch, messaging to check in on Instagram. They said hello just a few days ago. She checked in when my daughter was born, McConnell said. That speaks to the kind of person she was. She had a warm light to her, he said. Though they did not confirm Abdul Rah's identity Friday, Atlanta police said a woman was kidnapped while returning to her home in the 500 block of Bureau Street. A witness called 911 after 5 a.m. after he saw a woman forced into an SUV at gunpoint, Hampton told reporters during Friday's news conference. While police were still investigating, another 911 call came in at 6 a.m. reporting gunfire in the area of Lakewood Avenue and Terrace Way. Investigators determined the kidnapping call and the shooting call were likely related. Nearly 4 hours later, police were organizing a canvass of the area. A witness spotted the woman's body. Abdul Rah's case, it developed quickly, unlike Johnny's mysterious killing, which was the first homicide in Piedmont Park in 12 years. On the morning of July 28th, the bodies of Janess and her dog, Bowie, were found near the entrance to the park at 10th Street and Charles Allen Drive, not far from Johnny's Midtown home. When she didn't return from her walk, her girlfriend used a phone tracker to find Johnny. Investigators said she had been stabbed repeatedly. The FBI is assisting Atlanta police with the investigation, but no suspects are in custody. The shocking deaths of Johness and Abdul Rah add another talking point to the conversation about Atlanta's ongoing struggle with violent crime. Our city has suffered another tragedy. Atlanta City Council President and Mayor candidate Felicia Moore told the AJC. Another family has been devastated. Another neighborhood is in mourning. My deepest sympathies are with the family, and I am confident that her friends and family will feel the loving embrace of our good neighbors. Harry Hamilton, an East Point resident, who said he'd been going to the Southeast Atlanta neighborhood where Abdul Rah's body was recovered since, said 1972, that don't sound right, told the agency he felt numb to the violence. Well, he's been going to the neighborhood since 1972. It's shocking that it happened, but this has been an area of questionable character for many years. Hamilton said while watching investigators from the backyard of Ideal Sports Bar on Lakewood Avenue, but I've never really experienced any violence of this nature. It's becoming more commonplace. So it almost goes by like, oh, well, okay, that is the said information. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution is the source. So right now, hello everybody in the chat. This is a story of a very beautiful lady, who happened to be a bartender before her death, kidnapped outside of her home after leaving work, put inside of an SUV, possibly, if we're to believe this man is a suspect, taken down the road not too far, murdered and dumped out like trash. What was the reason? Does this person that's in custody know Miriam? Were they friends? Were they acquaintances? Did they date? Did they hook up? Was he at the bar that night? Was he stalking her, bothering her, harassing her? Did he follow her from the bar? Because you have to ask yourself, who gets kidnapped right after leaving work and pulling up to their home? So obviously she got out of the car. Now, how far did she make it? To the step, to the sidewalk, to the front door? I do not know, but it says outside of her home. There is video surveillance of this. It's a little ways off, but they show someone putting a woman into a car, and also an eyewitness, a male, has come forward to say he saw a man put her into the car, and that's his testimony pertaining to the abduction of Miriam. So we now have surveillance, and we have an eyewitness to come forward. And we also have a female witness who heard gunshots near her home. So we have surveillance and an eyewitness near the house. Then we have gunshots near where she was murdered. And as I state, why did this person kill her? Was she being stalked, harassed? Is this a case of somebody knocking off bartenders in the metro Atlanta area? Is somebody angry with women? Is somebody thinking that these women belong to a certain type of group? Because obviously that's been thrown out, that possibly this is a gay killings, because the woman murdered in Piedmont Park was a gay woman. That is the said information. You need verification. Atlanta Journal-Constitution. It's the source. Thank you all for joining me. I'm going to backtrack pertaining to the lady who was found dead in Piedmont Park. If any of you have any information vital to this storyline, please call your local authorities. And if you have any testimony that you can bring, you can contact the Queen pertaining to these storylines. I'll be glad to hear what you have to say about these three, 2 murders and 1 missing. The last story I will bring you will be the title, the main focus of my video, not to be no disrespect to the other ladies, but I wanted to go ahead and tie these in as well with Shawtyeria Waits, who's currently missing out of Houston, Texas. And I want to thank the fan who suggested I cover the story. Okay. Hold on one second. Let me get my bearings. Oh, mercy. Nothing wants to play with them. Hold on one second. Well, I did have it up here just a minute ago. Come on now. Thank you all for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you so much. Hope you all are having a safe weekend. Trying to pull up my story here. It's taking its time. Okay. Well, for some reason this article is not being a full article. I hate when they do that. They post a story, but it doesn't give you the full article. Well, I'll just go to the next story. Thank you all for joining me. Oh, something's going on. These stories, why don't they open? It's weird. None of the stories want to open. How strange. Hello, everybody. Hello, thank you all. You're welcome. I don't know why. Somebody else told me that. I sent somebody some information. They said they couldn't open the stories. I don't know why these articles won't open. It's very weird. I'm going to just go with the third one I have. APD releases photos of 6 possible witnesses in Piedmont Park murder. Atlanta police released surveillance images Tuesday of 6 people who were in or near Piedmont Park the night that a woman and her dog were brutally killed. They are not considered suspects, but they may have information that could help police make an arrest. And if you need a source, this is WSB Channel 2 News. Okay. Come on now. I don't know. This is another one acting stupid. Jeez, gotta be kidding. It's been nearly a week since the Atlanta Police Department launched its investigation at Piedmont Park. Now, mind you, this is a 2-week-old article, where the gruesome stabbing deaths of Katie Jonas, 40, and her beloved pup, Bowie, rocked the community. And let me say that Bowie looks like a pit bull. So I'm trying to figure out who the hell runs up on a puppy pit and stab it to death. This is a very odd and bizarre story. I'm sorry. Because I've never heard of anybody being able to get close to a pit bull who would want to go toe-to-toe with a pit bull. I mean, stabbing a human is one thing, but the pit bull, and you know, pit bulls, hell, to me, look like a full dog and they're puppies. I'm just saying. It's a very strange story. Okay. The article will play. I just don't understand why this article won't. The city of Atlanta confirmed that there are 9 cameras throughout Piedmont Park, but the technology for them is outdated. Investigators said the cameras were first installed in 2008. Here we go. Oh, what is the problem? And they do not sync up with the current city cameras that are monitored by the Atlanta Police Department. But what's the purpose of them? Well, this is stupid here. Now people who live near and use the park are asking why the city never replaced them. The killings have also sparked rumors about a possible serial killer on the loose who may be targeting members of the LGBTQ community. At a news conference Tuesday, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms addressed those claims. I know there have been several rumors that there's a serial killer on the loose in the city. We don't have any evidence of that, Bottoms said. Also, that this was a hate crime. As of now, we don't have any proof of that as well. In the meantime, there is more information about the security cameras at the park. According to city officials, the city is in charge of operating and maintaining the 9 cameras in the park. Okay. Channel 2's Michael Seaton asked city officials if the cameras were operating properly on the night of this brutal crime. And, okay, jumps off. Okay. This just lets me know the devil don't want me talking about anything that he's orchestrated. Hold on one second. I don't know why these articles, for some reason, they will not stay on. It's very, very strange. Hold on one second. Thank you all for joining me. Hello, everybody. Oh, gosh. See, I don't like the ad-lib stories. I like to read the information that's been given because people like to bicker about what's been said anyway, even when you bring a source. Okay. I don't even know why they're bringing this up. This is crazy commentary. In 2008, there was a pilot that was done to install those 9 cameras, said John King, with the Office of the Chief Operating Officer. 2017, there was an assessment that was done. Ultimately, those cameras are based on obsolete technology, and they do not integrate with our Video Integration Center. The Video Integration Center is a network of cameras throughout the city that are monitored by APD and have been vital in fighting crime. Cameras in the park are outdated. Still, detectives say despite not having working cameras, they are confident they can solve this crime. The investigators of the Atlanta Police Department are talented. There are many homicides that we solve without the aid of any technological equipment, said Deputy Police Chief Charles Hampton. This is also happening at a time when the city has made it a priority to add an additional 270 cameras citywide by the end of the year. The reality is that the vast majority of our parks don't have cameras in them, Bottom said. We're going to look at crime stats. We're going to be in the consultation with APD and Parks and Rec and see where our most challenged areas are. The FBI has joined APD to assist with their investigation. Crime Stoppers is offering, at this time, it was $10,000 for anybody with information. This is an older article. It is up to $20,000 as I speak now, because this is an article that was done on August 3rd, Channel 2 News. the reward has gone up. Because that was the article I was trying to bring to you that wouldn't upload. Reward doubled to $20,000 for information on Piedmont Park murder, Atlanta in town. So here's a lady who appears to be a Caucasian lady, brutally stabbed in a park, minding her business alongside her dog. They also stabbed the dog. I don't know what the hell's going on with these people out here. I bring you these stories so you can stay aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Most of the people who watch my content are women. So mainly, I say this to you as a woman, as a mother, sister, cousin, auntie, grandmother. You need to be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your surroundings, because as you see, I brought you 2 stories thus far that are in the same city. I do not know the circumference of the distance between Piedmont Park and where this other lady got kidnapped, but we now see both were bartenders. What are the odds of 2 bartenders being killed within 2 weeks of each other? Coincidence? I don't know, because I don't make any claims on this channel of something I don't know. But I do find it odd that we now see that we've got one woman near 30 kidnapped and shot, thrown out a few miles from her home. She's a bartender. Then we've got a white lady killed in a park walking her dog. She's gay and a bartender. Which the gay, I don't know if it's got anything to do with it. Doesn't even matter. She's still a human being. Was this other young woman who was kidnapped, was she gay? I don't know. I haven't heard anything that she is. But nonetheless, they both were bartenders. So that's creepy right there. Somebody getting mad, walking around having a drink. They didn't like the lady's attitude. So you have to think about all those things when you're dealing with people being discarded, killed. Who is the perp? And as I state with the first girl, who's a bartender, did she know a perpetrator? Were they friends? Did they date? Did they have words? Did he not like her service? Did she cuss him out one night? Did they hook up? Had he been stalking her? You don't know. That hasn't been revealed. But they do have a male in custody. They have a male in custody. Wrecked his car, wrecked his SUV. So they do have a male, and I do believe he is African American, the male that they have in custody. In the case of the woman in Piedmont Park who's Caucasian, no suspect in that case. When I get more information on both stories, I will bring you the contents. And please go to YT. YT has videos in the queue pertaining to both cases. I'm going to bring you case number 3. This is one of the fans' selections. And it was so interesting that she would put this on my post because I had just read about this yesterday morning. And we're going to pray for this young lady that we get her home safely wherever she is, because I got a bad feeling about this. ABC 13 is the source. Community search begins for missing 20-year-old last seen in Southwest Houston. A community search is underway for a missing woman last seen 2 weeks ago on the night of her birthday in Southwest Houston. This was uploaded yesterday on the 13th at 5:31 p.m. Shawtyeria Waits disappeared from the 8900 block of Chimney Rock Road near Braeswood on July 27th. According to community activist Quanell X, Waits was with 2 other women that night. Loved ones are meeting in the Maryland or Meyerland area on Friday to start the search. Earlier this week, 2 women shared details of that night Waits went missing. They said oh God, don't do this. Here we go. Oh, I don't believe this. Hold on one second. My uploading is just horrible, man. Why these articles won't stay? It's strange. They said they all met a man while at the club earlier that night. That man then invited them to an apartment complex after the club, according to Quanell. Witnesses told Quanell they remember seeing Waits enter the apartment complex, but have no recollection of what door she knocked on. Meanwhile, the other 2 women had gone to a store down the street. This is not to disparage anyone, but the young girls had been dancing at a nightclub, and they thought they might want to come here and make a few extra dollars, Quanell said during a press conference Sunday afternoon. The man has large sums of money on him and was spending large sums of money at the strip club. The 2 women said that they came back from the store. They called Waits' phone, but there was no answer. Shortly after, her phone was cut off completely, Quanell said. Investigators told ABC 13 earlier this week that Waits is not originally from the Houston area, They said her family is in New Mexico. Waits was last seen wearing a pink dress, pink sandals, and was wearing a long black curly hair wig, according to Houston police. Waits is a 20-year-old black female with black hair, brown eyes. She's 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighs about around 130 pounds. If you have any information about Waits' disappearance, call the Houston Police Department Missing Persons Unit at 832-394-1840 or 911. So, to recap you on this story, 3 ladies are dancers at a strip club. Somehow they meet this man who's at the strip club spending lots of money. He invites one of the ladies or ladies back to the apartment. Let me make sure I read this correctly, so I don't want to misquote anything. Hold on. It says they all met a man while at the club earlier that night. That man then invited them to an apartment complex after the club. Okay. ABC 13 is the source. This is where I have the problem with this. Why didn't the ladies go in? If she was getting ready to just go dance for him, you all should have went in there with her. Because you always take an extra party with you to do private dancing, private whatever. Now, some may say, well, maybe she's going in there to do something else. Well, if she was going to do that, what we think she might have been going to do, she obviously didn't need her friends to come back, right back from the store. She could have went, drove her own car, whatever, did what she had to do with dude, got in her own car and left. So now we have to ask ourselves, who was the driver of the car? How did the two ladies don't know which door she knocked on? Yes, Deborah, I was thinking set up too, because what I have to ask myself is this. You mean to tell me you go into this apartment complex, because they do have visual of a reporter standing outside a nice looking townhouse where you all park your cars in the back. It has an overhang where you can park your cars, because there are a lot of apartment complexes, I'm sure in that general area, Texas, that are made like that, where you can park your car in the back of the building. You all have your own parking spaces, designated parking spaces. So they look like townhouses from what I'm seeing the reporter report on the news, if that is exactly the place where she went missing. How is it you take your friend there? Did you know of the apartment complex? Did you Google the apartment complex? Because guess what? Ding, ding, ding. If you Google, it's in your phone. Can't erase it. You can't erase the address out your phone, cookies. So I hope you 2 cookies are telling the truth about your alleged friend acquaintance. And I find it funny. You wouldn't even ask your friend what door she's going to, just in case it's some BS, something gonna pop off, which something popped off because she ain't been seen. And I've watched news commentary that states, ain't nobody seen her go in, well, let's say this, ain't nobody seen her come out. So where is she? So please tell me we ain't talking about a dead woman laying up in one of these apartments over here. This is absolutely insane. Well, we don't live in an area of people sticking together, leaving together. That's 40 years ago, 30 years ago. We're in a whole new era of what people do. Everybody does their own thing. But I'm saying, if it was indeed Shawtyeria was going to dance for him, the other girls should have gone in with her. Just for safety reasons. Hi, everybody in the chat. You should have gone with her for safety reasons. Hey, you just gonna dance? How long he want you to dance? She give him a time, he give her a time. Okay, we coming in with you. So that way, if it's some hanky-panky, then it's gonna be a room full of people fighting each other. And every lady should have had a knife and some mace, in case when they stepped over the threshold, somebody wanted to try to jump them, push them down. Somebody can probably get to their feet, their pocketbook, pull out some mace, or as I say, always keep your mace in your bosoms. I'm old school. Sometimes putting it in your purse, he may not be able to get to your purse. Just like putting a gun in your purse. What good is it going to do a gun in your purse if your purse gets snatched? You get knocked down from behind, from the side of your head. Get hit in the throat. See, women don't think like that. Mace needs to be in your bosoms, not in your purse. So I tell myself now, next time I go out, I'm gonna put the mace in my bosom, because you don't know how the reaper's gonna come to you. But something is suspect about this story. And this is not to accuse the ladies that she was with for any felonious behavior, but something isn't right that you don't know the door she knocked on. So now I have to ask myself, if it's not rows of townhouses where I can exactly see the door from the parking lot, then you're telling me that the apartment is set up to where you have what, 12 units in a building, kind of like 4 apartments on each floor. Y'all see where I'm going? And then she just walked down the corridor or walked up the steps and I didn't see where she went. Still, once again, why didn't you ask your friend what's the apartment number? We need to know the apartment number. So, as I state, did the ladies know this apartment complex already? Did they Google the apartment because they didn't know? Why didn't they ask her which apartment she was going to? Why didn't they talk to her to see that she even made it in the apartment safe? We now have commentary from the ladies. Try calling, the phone's dead. Soon as they get back. Well, my thing is, did she confirm that she made it in the apartment? Because that's what I would have said. Give me the apartment number. Let me see the apartment number. Hell, matter of fact, we're gonna walk you to the door. That way, if dude tried to do anything, he'd be a fool because now we got 2 witnesses saying which apartment she went in. See, gang recognized gang. So you got to be 5 steps ahead of the perpetrator. See, a perpetrator thinks you're just gonna come up to the door, slinky, feeling good, without no sidekicks. But see, I would have did him one better. I'd have showed up at the door with the ladies, and he'd been like, "Oh, what's this? My backup." That's who they are. That's who they are. And then if he said, "Well, I wasn't expecting some other ladies," then I would have said, "Well, you don't got to expect them. You either want me to dance or you don't. But they coming in either way. They can look at their telephones while I dance for you. What's the problem?" See, gang recognized gang. They would have came in with me. There would have been no sitting in the car. There would have been no going to the Piggly Wiggly to go get your slushy. Queen said that. No, you coming in with me. You never go dance alone, ever. Well, we don't have a time frame of who called what. I haven't heard anything in these articles, but I'm going to play you audio from Quanell X, who is the advocate for Miss Waits, because she is from New Mexico. They all gathered for this press conference with Mr. Quanell X to give the synopsis of what happened or what they think happened or what allegedly happened on that Friday. This is a very wicked tale because everybody knows the game of dancing. It is a dangerous game because you have sick people who watch you. They'll sit in a parking lot to wait and see you leave. And it doesn't matter if a bouncer, security walks you to your car. That doesn't mean a perpetrator is not sitting somewhere lying in wait to get you alone, follow you home, get your address, approach you when you get out of your car, such as what happened to Miss Miriam down in Atlanta. I got a feeling somebody watched her leave the bar and they followed her, which I got to then ask myself, if it's downtown Atlanta, 9 times out of 10, there's no parking. You see, you probably have to park in a parking garage or possibly off-street parking. So that means you followed her on the street. And how would you know where she parked? And where is your car in proximity to her car? So you have to think about all those types of things when a story is laid out. But we will get the information pertaining to Sweet Miriam, how he was able to get her, follow her. Did he already know her? Now, back to Miss Shawtyeria. Hey, you 2 girls, are you her friends? Are you really her friends? You can call the queen if you want to. You can give me your testimony to let me know if you're really her friend, because I'm trying to figure out why you 2 did not go in with her unless she was going for a hookup. Then that's odd too, because I just ain't never heard nobody doing that and your friends come back and wait on you. Usually the guys say, well, hey, let them drop you off. I'll take you home, blah, blah, blah. But if this is allegedly just a dance, then you all should have went to the store first. Come on, queen. and then went into the door with her and let the guy know, hey, this is my entourage. They will be here also while I dance for you. Well, I don't know what really happened. As I say, I don't make any claims to what happened in the storyline. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Trying to get back to my story. Hold on one second. Oh, mercy. Well, it was up here in the queue. Now I can't even find it. This is what happens. Thank you all for joining me. Yeah, it was up here. Trying to find my story. Now it's gone. Great. Hold on one second. I'm going to play you commentary pertaining to Shawtyeria, if I can find it. Oh, it was up here. Now it's gone. Mercy. Oh, look at 49 watching. That's better than nothing, I guess. 1 second. This is crazy. It was just in the queue. 1 second. Hold on. There we go. It's a bit winded. I'm not going to play all of it. I'm just going to play a little bit of this information. This is Mr. Quanell X, CPRC2 News, Houston News. It's the source. It was uploaded 5 days ago. And this is just to give you a rundown of what allegedly took place on that Friday night with Miss Shawtyeria and her 2 friends. Thank you all so much for listening. Click to Houston is the source. I don't even know if you can hear it.
Yesterday, for a beautiful young woman was missing down for 19 days. What we do, however, we have not. So she came to this particular point.
Hold on 1 second. I have to get you closer because it's not, you can't hear it.
She thought was a friendly individual and a friendly person that they met at the club. And the young lady met them at the club, invited them to come back to this place to continue enjoying themselves. 3 girls came together. They dropped off 1 girl while the other 2 girls went to the store. This beautiful young black sister goes into this apartment complex and completely disappears off the human radar screen. We have talked to several residents here. They do remember seeing her walking in the complex, but they don't remember what apartment she went to. They don't know which unit she knocked on what door. But what we do know, she came to this complex and has never been seen again in 19 days. The other 2 young girls who were with her, who were supposed to be partying with her, came back 15 minutes later from right down the street from a store. They came back and started calling her phone. There was no answer. And all of a sudden the phone was cut completely off. So we believe that this young, beautiful sister absolutely met with foul play in the apartment complex. We believe that the man they met in the club never was a friendly man, never had friendly intentions. We believe that this was a trap to lure these girls here and to kidnap these girls. Well, obviously it only happened to 1 because only 1 went in. She went to the unit and knocked on that unit door. We discovered what unit that was. It was a vacant unit. Nobody even lived there. So was somebody waiting inside for? We just don't know. But what we do know, there has been no trace of this young girl here at this apartment complex or anywhere else in this city or any other surrounding cities since the night of her birthday 19 days ago. Her family is here. She was her relation to the young woman, and she'll have a thing on behalf of her family also, as well as her husband.
My name is Terry Lee, and I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm here to in search of my little cousin. It's not like her to not be in contact with anybody. She's a beautiful young lady who started out in Texas going to Prairie View And we're just a little concerned and worried about her. And it'd be great if everybody could put a word out. She doesn't deserve this. She doesn't need to be in this type of situation at all. And it'd be greatly appreciated if we can get that help. Thank you.
Uncle will have something to say. My name is Leonard Waits. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am the great uncle of Shawtyeria. Again, like my daughter said, we've been missing her for 20 days now, 19 days now. And we definitely appreciate X for helping us out in this endeavor. Not knowing where she is, not hearing from her, has been trying on our family. And we just need some answers, and we appreciate the help that we're getting from the people in, especially Climate X and people in Houston, Texas. So if anybody has a message for us, we'll be handing out flyers and our number so they can get in contact with us.
Did you guys file a police report?
Oh, yeah. Yes, we
When
did.
did you file?
We'll have that case on for you. But that's been filed like 19 days ago.
Yes, you guys
Because
filed.
immediately her friends called the police. Immediately her friends called the police.
Can you come back up?
Immediately her friends called the police. The police did come, took information, walked the premises, no sight of it whatsoever. And they just really just can't do anything until a certain amount of period of time before she be classified as a missing person. What we do know, this is not to disparage anyone, but the young girls have been dancing at a nightclub. And they thought that they were going to come here and perhaps make a few extra dollars. There was a trick. It was a setup. They came and only one went in. But the plan, we believe, was for all three to go into that vacant apartment at this particular property.
And they went that man
At the night.
at night.
They say, based on what we know, he had large sums of money on him. He was spending large sums of money in the strip club, and that he was luring them with the money. And so they thought, because it was closing time, and this guy promised we could continue this at my spot in Southwest Houston, gave him his address, gave him the apartment number. But it was never a plan to continue a party. We believe that it was a plan to kidnap these two girls. And only one went in, and one has never been seen.
Do you know any of the other two girls? She acknowledged it.
They did. They did. Nothing. They did. Because you're not allowed, we asked that question. You take a picture. The girls are not allowed to have their cell phones in the club. And you can't take pictures of the patrons inside of a strip club. Because some of these men don't want to be recognized or known that they're frequenting these type of establishments.
And the apartment complex, they don't have a lease or any names or
No, it was vacant. It was vacant.
Thank you. That's a commercial. Hold on. I'm going to stop it right there because I don't want to hold it long. You can finish watching this. It's titled Family, a woman who went missing on her 20th birthday, holds press conference. KPRC2 is the source. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to check out of here because I'm almost at an hour running. This is what's the problem. So now nobody knows him. He's just somebody. Excuse me, I'm trying to get this stuff off my screen. Sorry about that. Okay. They saw this guy spending lots of money. He said something to the ladies. They followed him back to this apartment. The apartment was vacant from what the apartment complex people are saying. So this is where it's the problem. This guy, Mr. X, thinks that it was a plan to take all three. Well, in order to have all three, that means you're going to have 3 or 4 more people working with you. And he does state that in this audio that I just cut short. I'm at 6 minutes, 37 seconds if you want to finish watching it because it's 15 minutes long. But the point is, if we're going to believe the hypotheses that this guy was going to take all 3, you would have to have manpower to knock all 3 out. That's first and foremost. 2, allegedly the apartment's vacant. So she couldn't have got in the door unless somebody was supposed to move out, didn't move out, still had a key, and the locks hadn't been changed. Scenario number 2. Scenario number 3 is she walked to the said apartment and got snatched up because there was no apartment number, whatever it was, because as they say, nobody lived there. So that means somebody probably grabbed her right when she got to the door. So now we have to ask ourselves, nobody heard anything outside the door. Nobody heard any conversations. Nobody heard any scuffling outside. So then we have to ask this, how did you get her out of there? Because if we going to say, witnesses are going to say, yeah, I saw her go in. Who are they that saw her go in? Are we just talking about the girls? Are the only 2 that saw her go in? Or somebody in the apartment complex? So let's question the people who live there who are saying they saw her, if indeed the extra witnesses are residents. What do we know about these people? What do they have going on? Okay? What do the tenants have going on? This could be the scenario right here. The apartment that she was called to go to, or the 3 ladies, was a vacant apartment. Perhaps he only had his eye on one. Because like I said, if we're to believe what Mr. X is saying, you have to have manpower to kidnap 3 women. You're going to have to also be able to discard 3 women. So what are you saying? That you're going to human traffic them in the said apartment complex? Stay woke now. Stay woke. What type of apartment is this? Is this apartment in Section 8 housing, hood housing? They get monthly inspections. So you got to think about all those types of things if we're going to talk about human trafficking. Different men going in and out the apartment to have sexual relations with the ladies. Eventually, somebody's going to talk, and the secret will get out. Stay woke. So as I state, vacant apartment. How would she have gotten in if the apartment was vacant? That means 9 times out of 10, the door was locked. They always lock apartments after a person moves. Even if they go in and see, they take all their stuff. They've done the writ on the apartment. They've gone to court to put the person out, whatsoever. They changed the locks on the apartment. So what happened when she turned the corner, went up the steps? Who got her? Where'd they take her? Are you all not following what's going on, perhaps? The culprit possibly lives in the apartment complex. Stay woke. Okay? That's why I always tell you, stick to whatever's been said from the beginning. Even if it doesn't sound right, even if you think it sounds right, the truth is always at the beginning of the story. So the truth is with these ladies who are left behind and living. And allegedly they left for 15 minutes to go do whatever they went to do and come back. But as I state, this would have never popped off if indeed these women are genuine. They went to the door with her. If somebody was lying in wait on a stair landing, around a corner, waiting for her to pop up at the door to snatch her, they would have been shocked to see all 3 standing there and not just the one. See where I'm going? If indeed she was the target. 2, if the apartment was actually livable, my friends would have gone with me. So see, that's where the problem with the story is. Why didn't the girls get out and walk her to the door? Walk in with her to see, make sure there was no other guys, men in the apartment. You can't assume that that person is the only person in the apartment. Now look how jacked up the story is. It's 2 weeks later. She's been missing for days because this was published on the 8th. It's now days later. So you're talking about 20-something days she's been missing. And she's nowhere to be found, nowhere in Houston. Any side towns, jurisdictions. No cell phone conversations, social media posts, obviously. So where is she? I'm telling you, I won't doubt if the person lives in the apartment complex and they drug her in an apartment, carried her, however you want to word it, gunpoint, knife point, took her into another livable apartment. They knew they didn't have cameras where they could get her out of sight. line of sight, however you want to word it, took her into a house, apartment, because you got to remember one thing about kidnapping. I got to be able to get you out of here if I'm going to take you somewhere else to do whatever it is I'm going to do to you, with you, and to discard you. I got to be able to get you to point B. And that is the first rule of kidnapping, 101. Never get in the car if you can prevent being abducted. Because once you are at point 1, all bets are off and you survive. Especially if the motive is murder. So how did they get her out of the apartment? Because now we're being told the apartment is not a livable unit. So then that means somebody lied and wait for her to hit the corner and snatched her. Okay, well, when they snatched her, say, well, now, where did they take her? Without being seen by any residents, passerbyers. Suspect didn't ask her who she was riding with, who she's coming with. Are you driving? Do you have a car? He wasn't concerned about that. Or she. Well, we know it could have been a she. I don't know. We're just going by some guy with a lot of money. Asked him to come back to this apartment that don't exist. The unit doesn't exist, rather. Very, very odd, bizarre story. Because what is strange to me is that you're going to tell me, witnesses saw her go there, but ain't nobody see her leave there. So are we talking about, as I say, she is on that property still, hidden in somebody's apartment, either alive or deceased. Either way, it's felonious and it's jacked up and it's cruel and it's heinous and it's diabolical. I don't know if I agree with the person was trying to get all 3 women in there, because that would cause a problem if indeed the door didn't open, it was locked, it was a ruse. That means you'd have all these people scuffling with each other outside. That would draw attention. Somebody would hear all these people arguing. Hey, no, get your hands off of me. Hey, stop. Help, help. You understand where I'm going? Stay woke. That's why I always say, think about what's been told to you. Was this a ruse for all 3 to be kidnapped, human trafficked? But now that we know that it was not a usable apartment, then how did she and the perp get in if nobody lives there? So are we talking about a vacant unit that had a door unlocked? Or somebody jimmied the door, lured her in, did what they did to her, waited till the coast was clear? But once again, how'd you get her out? See, these are all the questions that we're not getting the answers to. Just, oh, nobody lived there. Well, don't live there means what? Door locked, unlocked. Person just moved out, still got a key. Nobody changed the locks on a new place. Stay woke. Or next scenario, the perpetrator lives in the building and they have that girl stored in that unit as we speak, alive or dead, or they have found a way to dispose of her and take her out of the said apartment. And that's going to be the worst case scenario. As I state, if we're to believe anything about this story, what does not make any sense is that allegedly there are witnesses stating they saw her go in. So that doesn't make any sense to say I saw her go in, but ain't nobody see her come out. So how could she go in somewhere when allegedly the apartment is not a livable apartment? That's why I keep telling you, think about what's been said. Prayers for Shawtyeria Waite and her family. She's from New Mexico. In this commentary, you hear that allegedly she was going to, I believe he said Prairie View or Prairie State, whatever. I don't know if that means she didn't finish college or she finished college. I don't know. They really didn't go into much details about that. But nonetheless, it's a very odd story, because I'm always leery of a witness that brings a story and a version, especially when it says Oh, I saw her go in. Oh, I saw her here. But yet you didn't see her leave. Thank you, honey. Thank you, Nancy. Nobody saw her leave. So that's why I posed the question. Could it be Shawtyeria still on the property the past couple of weeks, being stored, alive or dead, or trafficked out of that apartment? And has she been removed from that apartment by a very deviant manner to be discarded? And will we hear that she is either alive or deceased from that apartment, in that apartment, or elsewhere? This is a very tragic tale. I'm going to say this to you ladies before I check out. And I say this for myself because, like I said, we all make mistakes. We all do things hastily in meeting people. You don't know people. You don't know people. And I will say this, to be honest. I recently talked to someone who was not who they said they were. And I already had a feeling that something wasn't right in the conversation because of little things that they were saying. It wasn't adding up in the conversation, taking too long to video chat, just buffoonery. And then they waited hours later to tell me, I'm not who I said I am. I've lied to you. I'm not this person. They even sent fake photographs. So you see, I indulged that, even asking, well, hey, aren't you going to video chat? Aren't you going to video chat? And the sad part is they kept sending these pictures. So I just assumed, okay, possibly this is the guy in the picture. That's the whole point of a picture. You don't know if that's the guy in the picture. For all I know, it could be a dead man. It could be a dead man's photos. I don't know. But what I thought was odd is you want to keep talking, but don't want to video chat. Then you want to act like I'm asking you too many questions about what you do for a living, don't do. Well, how am I supposed to get to know you if I didn't ask you anything? So see, all the signs were there day one. So I tell you women, even in a phone conversation, if day one they don't want to video chat, just end the conversation. Don't continue to talk. Don't be led by they sound nice, the picture looks nice. That shit don't mean nothing. That shit don't mean nothing. And so the person already knew, well, I'm going to have to go ahead and tell her the truth. I'm not who I say I am. I'm not even the guy in the photographs, because if she meets me, she's going to see I'm not that person. And how that's going to look. And how's that going to turn out? You got cussed out. That's how it would have turned out. Do you understand? But God forbid if I'd have met this person somewhere private, then the joke would have been on me. See, that's the point. Because you don't know people. People can be whoever they want to be on social media. People will tell you anything in a phone conversation. People will tell you anything in a text. You are not going to know what is what until you meet a person face to face. And that could be in a public place. That could be in a private place. But nonetheless, you are on your own once you go to a private place. Because I don't care if it's a partner. If they're willing to get jiggy and pull a gun out at 5 p.m. in the evening, they will. They want to pull it out at midnight, they will. Just easier to pull it out at midnight because it's pitch black. But you have to be very careful with letting people do favors for you, helping you carry in furniture, groceries, doing odd jobs around your house, your apartment. Recommendations from Pookie, Ray Ray. This is how many women have been sexually assaulted, letting in a random stranger in their house. And let me tell you, you can laugh and talk with people every day at school, job, work, a bar. But once you are alone with them, that does not mean they're going to be that same person you were kickling and cackling with and laughing with at the pool hall, the juke joint, your baking class, Pilates class, however the hell you meet these people. You don't know people. And every day I bring you stories that is breaking news to show you somebody did not know somebody else. A child didn't know his parents were cruel enough to snuff him out. A woman didn't know her husband was cruel to snuff her out. A husband didn't know his wife was cruel to snuff her out, snuff him out. The neighbor didn't know that one day somebody's gonna come blow his brains out. Somebody put lead poisoning in the brownies at work to get you sick. Somebody came in and shot everybody at the job. Do you see where I'm going? You don't know people. And all that laughing and talking and acting like you're best friends with people, and that's the same MF that will stab you in your back and set you up for failure and set you up to fall. There is no loyalty in the streets. And some of you may think I'm talking about street life. I am not. I'm talking about loyalty in general. There is no loyalty, period. Period. There are new things I'm wanting to do with the channel, new avenues I'm going to take. I'm not going to even speak on those avenues as of yet, because like they say, sometimes it's best to keep things closer to the chest, keep it a secret. But I plan to do different things with the network, and you'll see it the day it hits the fan. I'm not even going to discuss anything new that I want to be doing. I'll keep it to myself, but just look for different changes with the networks. Starting next week, of course, I will bring you another new movie to watch, either on TV and or a streaming device or at the movie theater. I want to thank you all for joining me. Prayers for Miss Janess, who was viciously murdered in Atlanta Piedmont Park alongside her dog. Prayers for Miriam, who was kidnapped outside of her home and discarded like trash in Atlanta, Georgia. And prayers for Shawtyeria, who is currently missing now 3 weeks, with not a wink of information to her whereabouts. And I'm sure her parents and family are devastated, not knowing and hearing anything. And all I can say for the perpetrator who exacted this crime on Shawtyeria, or if there are others involved, God gonna handle you one way or the other. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not even be in this lifetime, but you're gonna get handled. Same thing with the guy who murdered Miriam in Atlanta, the bartender. And also for the creep that murdered Miss Janess in Piedmont Park. God don't like ugly. And my message to all you women is to please be careful of the company you keep. Please be aware of all your surroundings. Please be aware of telling your business to people, telling what you're doing, everything from how you spend your money, when you're getting money, all those things. You need to be very leery of what you tell people. Talking too loud in your own damn apartment. People can hear you. People can hear through the doors. What you carry in your house. People are watching all of that. Your parcels, things that's being delivered. Shopping bags going in and out of your car and trunk every day. Somebody's watching that. They're watching you at the mall. They're watching you at the store. They're sitting on the curb watching. They're sitting in their cars watching. And beware of your friends and your family and your co-workers. Because some of them don't like you. And they don't mean you well either. Stay woke. If you want to donate to the channel, $BigAngie129 Cash App. God bless all of you. Stay safe. Hope everything works out for everybody this weekend. Get out and enjoy yourself, because the Queen will be enjoying herself. Part 2 tonight. I'm catching some air. And pray for my safety as well. Because as I state, nobody is immune from violence. And that's just a spoken word. God bless all of you. Thank you for joining me. Thank the mods on deck. You all have a safe weekend. I will be back with more commentary to all 3 stories, because all 3 stories are open cases. 2 out of Atlanta, 1 out of Houston, Texas. So I will bring you commentary pertaining to the said information. And I really want to try to get somebody on pertaining to Shawtyeria if I can, because this is a very baffling case. And this is very scary because, like I said, we all been young, but you can still make a mistake even at 50. All it takes is the wrong meet and greet. There ain't no backup. You're on your own. Sadly, you are on your own. Thank you for joining. This is Everyday Shenanigans.